What is going on, Bulls Nation? So, back again here for another video. And I know what you guys are going to say. It was a disaster last night. But, I'm still optimistic. We're going to talk about it. Some observations that we had, what happened. Uh, so, it was a pretty close game up until the third quarter, which normally this is where the separation goes when it comes to the Bulls. Now, there's a lot of things going on with the Bulls. I'm not going to be, doubt them or jump off the bandwagon all of a sudden. We have a lot of injuries. Derek Jones Jr., again, he's the backup to the backup. And now we had to resort to Alfonso McKinney, which is, he did a decent job, but I feel like Javante and Derek Jones would have done a little bit better. I mean, it's hard to stop Kevin Durant. No, probably no one could, but I feel like with those combo, it'll be a lot better. However, Harden also went off. Alex Caruso, um, Io is a good defender. However, guys like that, they're way bigger. They're veterans. They're savvy. Maybe a couple of years from now, Io can take those because Io does have the wingspan, and I think he does have the physicality to match up with them. But having hampered with fouls early in the game doesn't help as well. But we beat the Nets twice now. Granting there was no Kyrie back then, but Kyrie didn't do much in this game either. I feel like if we meet them again, I still stand by my statement that I feel like we match up well with Brooklyn. Now, a few glaring things when your matchup against Brooklyn is that you only have a few mistakes that you could afford because these guys are so dynamic that they played two rookies, I believe, in their starting lineup and still beat us, but with like 35 or 40. I didn't finish the game, but this is where the game where I feel like Vooch should have shined. He is the only big guy on the floor. He could, if he wanted to, they should have went to him early and often. I feel like because who is really gonna guard him? There's like two rookies that's guarding Vooch, and this is not one of his best games. Like he's rebounding well against other teams, but again, I feel like he could have dominated inside if he wanted to. This is where the game plan comes in, where just pound it inside. I understand they got Zach and Demar on the wings, but with Vooch inside and that Claxton wasn't even starting, and even if he was, I think Vooch would still have a distinct advantage. However, he's not playing well down the block this game, but I wish they would have stuck to him more. And one more glaring stat is our turnovers. We had too many. And don't get me wrong, I do love Lonzo on this team. I think he is the perfect point guard to have. He's young, he's fast, very good defensively. But maybe in these type of games, we need a veteran presence, so to speak. Now, Alex Caruso is a very reliable guard as well, but something like some veteran, like I know Rondo's already occupied, but something like Rondo, or a Andre Miller back then, perhaps um, George Hill, if he's available, somebody that can calm the Bulls down. Even though we are kind of guard heavy at this point, we got Kobe, Io, Caruso. If he whenever he comes back, and obviously Lonzo, we could use one more if we're gonna make a trade, and I feel like we are. I just feel like Kobe's gonna be gone on the trade deadline. Not because he's just a terrible player. He is. He's actually doing pretty well for the Bulls, but he's due for an extension next year. And I just feel like the Bulls cannot afford to pay this guy any more than he is being paid right now, which is $9 million. Uh, with Zach Levine's extension looming around the corner, if the Bulls hold on to him, which I understand why they would, because he is just a dynamic scorer off the bench, and God knows we need all the help we can get from the bench scoring. But I think he will be used as a bait for to improve our roster. Perhaps not the biggest, power forward. I know that's kind of like what we're seeing right now because it's with Derek Jones' injury. We just became thinner now in power forward. Now Alfonso McKinney and Tyler Cook, I believe, is still injured. But even if he is healthy, we need help. We need help in that position, but at the same time, we need help scoring off the bench as well. And Kobe does that, but I feel like his impending extension or free agency would force the Bulls' hands to get something for him. Because if we wait one more year, I guess we could. I think we can match his any offer sheet that is given to him. But no, given the teams that they know that we are maxed out basically once we sign Levine and DeRozan and Vooch, they know we're not going to prioritize Kobe. So we're going to lose a little bit of leverage there. However, I would love to keep Kobe if we could. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that he is going to be traded this deadline for a bigger piece or multiple piece. Who knows? But yeah, those are the few things that I noticed in this matchup. We do have another game tomorrow against Golden State Warriors. Now they are missing key players as well. From what I heard, Clay's not going to play. He's going to sit this one out. And Draymond is going to sit this one out. Now, this is not a given. Even those two are sitting out, in paper, it looks like we do have the personnel to beat them. If we go to Vooch inside again, another team that perhaps we could, utilize inside, which is Vucevic. Caruso is going to be out again tomorrow. Obviously, Derek Jones Jr. and again, Tyler Cook and Javante. But I feel like we do have a shot. Now, I hope we win this game, because a lot of people in the mainstream media are talking about us, that we're a fluke, But even though we already beat the Nets twice, I don't really care what the media says, as long as we get the first seed, as high in the standings as we could. United Center was electric last night, and once we get Caruso back, and we will at some point, hopefully this month, it's gonna be fun again, because I do miss Caruso's presence. He reminds me a lot of Kirk Heinrich, and but a little bit more dynamic than Kirk, obviously more athletic. So he's a lot more exciting, but his grit, when he comes back, we're gonna experience that again. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, Bulls Nation. Let me know in the comments how do you feel about this game? Is there any takeaways, or is it just a matter of we're just injured? We're just shorthanded. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Also tomorrow, we'll discuss the game after it concluded, and go Bulls. I'll see you guys in the next video.